Hello everyone, LMP back again. Today I have a rather large item to review, and it is the Thomas and Percy electric train set by Hornby. Now, believe it or not, I actually don't review all of my items. Like most people, I'd assume wouldn't know I have this set, which is the Thomas the Tank Engine electric train set, which just has Thomas and Clarabel. The reason I chose not to review this set, is because I've reviewed all these items separately. Not Annie and Clarabel, but I've reviewed Thomas and he's sort of the main focus. So, why am I covering this set? Because I have not seen a full in-depth review on a set with the radio control and sound feature, and I think it's rather interesting. This whole set really fascinates me, and in this video I'll explain why. Also, I've ordered quite a few new Hornby things, quite a few new rare Hornby items, so I'm going to be having all my reviews. My reviews are going to be coming back, and I'm going to have a lot of them. And so, yeah, stay tuned for those. Anyway, so this is the Thomas and Percy electric train set. So you got Thomas on the front there with his lamp, which I don't know if he came with because I got this set used. And I only got this whole set for 80 bucks. 80 US dollars for those who are watching overseas. Which is a steal, because for those who know, Thomas alone goes for something around that, 70, 80 bucks. So, anyway, it comes in this style packaging, which is early 2000s up to about, I think it was 2010-ish, I think. And this is my favorite style boxing. I love this packaging. So you got Thomas on the side there, Ghislaine, and you have all the different characters and symbols. Then you have right here, it says it requires one 9-volt battery, and that's for the remote. And yes, there's a separate remote in this set, another interesting feature. So, on the side here, sort of the same thing. On the back, you have all the other characters. You have Bill, Ben, Duck, Toby, Brake Van, Tar Tanker, etc., etc. You have all these different things, and you can also buy the radio control sound system separately, although obviously there's a red color scheme. And I do plan on getting a second one of these, or even a third one, depending on how many tracks my layout has. But I do want to get Hornby, Bill, and Ben, so if anyone has a link to Hornby, Bill, and Ben models that aren't extremely expensive, feel free to drop them in the comments. And then here it shows you the layout that the set includes, which is layout 3. So you don't have to get the layout 4 extension pack, and it shows you what it would look like when it's all complete. And then just down here, simple things based on the Rally series, obviously. Ghislaine Thomas Limited 2001. So this set is about 19 years old. So, to open it, obviously, you have a flap right here, which you would lift down, and that bit comes up like this. So I'll just put it like here. And there's everything you get. So I'll just put this in the background here so it's out of the way. Right, so first of all, you get this track mat, which I believe is actually quite a rare track mat, because this was made specially for this sound radio control system, which I think they expected to be a lot bigger than it ended up being. But there's your track mat. I actually like track mats. I think they're quite a good way to get started, or if you have maybe you're moving or something, but you still want to play with your trains, as we all want to do. You can always use your track mat. Just as something. If you're on carpet, it protects it from stuff on the carpet getting onto your trains, motors, and stuff. So, I actually really like the track mats. Some people are against them, but. And here's all that you get. So we'll look at this stuff first, because this is what makes this set really unique. So this set actually isn't powered normally with your standard remote. It's actually powered by a wireless remote. And it says, I believe that's 27 megahertz, I think. Someone who's smarter than me, correct me if I'm wrong. But I mean, this signal's so strong. I was in the downstairs of my house and it worked, and my room is upstairs on the other side of the house. So very good reception. And this is where the 9-volt goes. It goes in the remote right here. We'll just block out that brand name because that company seems to not like having their brands in other people's videos. Then you got your transformer. I think this is only a 9... it's a 9-volt transformer. This doesn't work very well for me. I'll show you how I set it up. This doesn't do very good, but maybe it's just mine. But if you are going to use this, obviously, and you're overseas, you're going to need your wall adapter. So keep that in mind when you're purchasing that set. I luckily already had 2 of them on hand, but some people don't. Most people don't, I'd imagine. Now, this bit here, this is your receiver, in a way. Now, when you get it, you take the roof off. You can see the big speaker there, because this set has sound. And it has this little antenna bit, which I always struggle to get out, so I just use the power clip sometimes, but I probably shouldn't, but it does the job. So this lifts up, but there's a hole in the roof, and you just line it up. It's just like that, so it fits in the box. Now, this is your power clip, obviously, and then this clips into the track. And this is your receiver, so that, what is it? There you go, your adapter plugs into your wall socket, and then from there, this plugs into here, and then plugs into the track. So this is your receiver disguised as a house. But I'll show you how that works later. Now we'll get on to the more interesting things. And I also got the set because I needed a new Thomas and Percy, especially new Thomas. Mine was getting kind of old. I wanted the older Annie and Clarabel. I want another tanker, and I've always wanted these Season 1 wagons, so it worked out. This is a perfect set in my case. So we'll just zoom in a little bit. We'll get Thomas out. There's no holes, unfortunately, to push your locos and things out, so you gotta just gently pull them out. Here is Thomas. The Hornby Thomas is actually my favorite Thomas out of all of my Thomases I own. It's just very charming. Now this one has traction tires because this was made in 2001. But all my other Thomases have actually never had traction tires. I have one from 2011, which came in a box like this. And then I have one that came in that new style Thomas the Tank Engine set I showed earlier. And then I have the metallic one. And none of those have traction tires, so this one does. And it certainly pulls a lot more. I actually prefer traction tires. The only downfalls to traction tires is simply they're not as smooth on the rails, engines without traction tires, and they do leave dirt sometimes if they're struggling to pull something, because obviously the rubber rubs off. So just keep your tracks clean and you won't have a problem, really. And if these go out, there's spares on eBay for extremely cheap. Now, I've done a review on Thomas, which was my first review. I don't know if I would recommend it. I haven't seen it in a long time, but I'm sure I was even pretty, knowledgeable back then. But I will say that my favorite thing about this Thomas is the face. I mean, this is a perfect representation of the Thomas face that we all know and love. No vacuum pipes in him at the moment. I do have some, just not fitted at the moment. Because I got this set not too long ago. Just haven't had time, really. Now, these back wheels are sprung, and I've noticed that on all of my 060s with traction tires. These back wheels are sprung, so if anyone knows why that is, I would like to know. Maybe it's for cornering or something like that. I wouldn't... probably. I don't know. Someone tell me. He's got his whistles up there. My old Thomas has a whistle broken, so 2 whistles. He has a bit of it's a matte finish. I really like this because my other Thomas had almost a bit of a glossier finish. This is like a pure matte finish. My other Thomas also had a bit of a darker face. It's a bit of a creamier face. This is a bit more of like a whiter face. You got your in-cab detail and all that. And then Thomas is obviously based on the, I think it's London, Brighton, and South Coast Railway E2 class with extended side tanks, and which is portrayed pretty well here. So, I love the Hornby Thomas, so I'm going to be very biased on everything I say, but I would rate this Thomas a 10 out of 10. It's charming. So, you get your Thomas, and we'll look at Percy next. So what I really like about the set is that you get two engines. You get Thomas and Percy, which is a much better value than this, where you just get a loop of track, an engine, and two carriages. Here you get an engine, two carriages, but then another engine and 3 different wagons. And Thomas and Percy is obviously very good combination. The only problem is obviously Percy, the Hornby Percy is quite a lot faster than Thomas, so you can't run them both at the same time, but this set includes a siding where you can put Thomas or Percy on that track and they won't get in the way. Another thing I like about this set is it comes with 2 sets of points, so because points are very important. And they're quite expensive on their own. So here's Percy, again, face. I'll just show you. Very good face. I'm not too sure about the black rings around the eyes though. It's odd, but I think I've gotten used to it. To remove the chassis, you pull these clips down, so it's quite easy to get it off. Thomas is a bit more difficult. You just pop a screwdriver in the back, but it's I wouldn't recommend doing it too often because, as it sounds, it's not great for the plastic. Now, some people criticize the Hornby Percy because it reuses a chassis, but Percy is something that Hornby fans would refer to as a pocket rocket. Essentially, it's a very small engine that goes very fast, which is exactly what Percy is. So, I don't know, I like fast Percy, so I'm not complaining. The number 6 is okay. I'm not sure if it's the exact font, but it doesn't bother me. The back has a lamp. It's not painted though, but my old Hornby Percy, I've actually painted it, so it's not a hard thing if you really want to. And if you notice, Thomas and Percy both have running boards that are the same color as the body when they should be white or gray. Again, it doesn't bother me. It's endearing, it's charming, but I can see how it would bother some people. In that case, I would recommend the newer Percy that they made in 2015. Some of the newer 2015 models, like the bigger engines, usually come with a lot of flaws, but Percy and Thomas up for 2015 are okay if you want that sort of detail. So it's all personal preference, really. Then you got something that interests me is you got his 2 whistles, obviously, but then you got this painted one on the back. And older versions actually have 2 painted whistles, making them have 4 whistles, or like 2 safety valves and a whistle, or something like that. It's odd, but I like it. I think it looks okay. I don't know why they did it. I removed it on my old Percy, but I think it had to do with maybe like the Clockwork Percy or something, because obviously this Percy was not based on a pre-existing tooling. This was made specifically to be Percy and nothing else. The only one thing I'm not too fond about is that they don't have dates underneath. Obviously, I know they're from 2001, but it would be nice. Very fast engine, no cab detail, no flooring. Very basic engine, but oh well. Now, we'll move on to Annie and Clarabel, which I can cover pretty easily because they're pretty similar. Here's Annie, and they got the darker shade of orange, which I love. I love this darker shade. I don't know why. I think it looks good because the Hornby Thomas is the darker blue. But I really love this darker shade of orange. And you got her surprise face. And you would probably imagine that Clarabel, you can get her out, has her happy face as well. So they both got their different faces. But except for that, she doesn't have a little brake door or guards compartment, sorry, there. But they're really nice. I like the Hornby and Clarabel a lot. I have the newer versions as well. And I prefer these ones, but the newer ones are very good as well. For those who don't know, these roofs actually come off if you try hard enough. So I've seen some people complain that they can't put lights inside of these. You can. These roofs do come off. You just have to be very patient. They do, because I did that to my old Annie and Clarabel. And then underneath, no date, but they have Hornby Railways. So they're just the standard four-wheel coach. I mean, Hornby makes these in every other color imaginable, or in every other livery imaginable. So there's Annie and Clarabel, and of course they look very good behind Thomas. Now these are the open wagons. They're referred to, I'll just take one of them out because they're both identical. These are referred to as just the open wagons, I believe. I think from memory the product code is R107, I think, but don't quote me on that. But I remember these have been in the range since the beginning till the end of the range. I mean, these things lasted forever, and I like these. I like the brown. I like how they're the shorter wheelbase and the shorter height. I believe there's still 7 plank wagons. I hope. I'm not gonna count everything, but I love all the wood detail, and I love the Season 1-esque faces. I love them. I don't know. But I want to get more. These are my only 2 at the moment, so I'm going to try to get more, hopefully, in the future. And have a long line of these. So these are great. And they look great behind Percy. And finally, wagon-wise, or, yeah, wagon-wise, I guess. Milk tanker. I have 2 of these now, and I'm happy to have more than one. I would like to make a long train of these. I think it'd be pretty cool. But here's the Sodor milk tanker. Again, classic piece. It's been around since the beginning. I mean, all these items have. None of them have been discontinued until the range got discontinued. You know, they stuck through all. God, how many? I think it was like up over 30 years the Hornby Thomas range was going for. So, you know, not rare. Quite a common item, but a very essential item as well. So, and I really like it. It's classic. So I'm going to do a quick jump cut and demonstrate how this sound system works, because there is not a clear video on YouTube that I know of that demonstrates how this works, and I want people to be aware of this because this is actually really helpful. So I'm gonna do a quick jump cut and I will get back to y'all in a second. Okay, and we're back. Now you might be asking why that Bachmann controller is there when I said that obviously it doesn't need that controller. Well, my British wall plug or adapter that came with this set, this one there, it doesn't pull in enough amps from the wall, so I'm simply using the Bachmann controller as a power regulator into the receiver, if that makes any sense. You shouldn't usually have to do this, but my little adapter piece on the end of the plug there does not pull in enough current. So I'll show you how this works. I can control Thomas simply by this remote. I can get him all the way up to there. I can gradually stop him, or I can go straight to an immediate stop if I really wanted to. I can back him up. Sorry about that. Remember, Thomas is almost 19 years old, so I need to service him. I just got this set, so. But it's like that. Another cool feature is the sound feature, which plays a. The sound comes out of the building and it syncs up to the engine, so you can go. So you control it along with the speed. So I think it's really cool. I'll just take him to an immediate stop right here. So I don't know why they stopped doing these and why people don't have more of these. It's really nice, especially when you're filming videos. You don't have to go to your controller. I mean, you can be over here. And as I said, it works from a very far distance. So I'm not going to leave the room, but I can be over here. I could even point it away or whatever, and it's still going to, there you go. So I would definitely recommend this set if you don't have Thomas or Percy or whatever, or you need a new Thomas or Percy. If not, I would recommend this sound system, which they sell separately. I just look up Hornby Thomas radio control. You'll find results. You can blend it in pretty well. The antenna is kind of annoying, but what's cool is that you can obviously adjust it. So It's just you won't get as good a connection from a certain distance. But it doesn't really bother me. I'll probably just put it at the back of the layout, so it'll blend in with everything else. I might put up maybe telephone poles and blend it in so you wouldn't even notice. But if you get more of these and you have independent tracks, you can have people, controlling them from all over the room. So it's pretty fun. I like it. I'm gonna eventually, whenever I have a layout set up, I think I'm gonna have it to where it's optional, where I can use this or the standard controller. I just figured I would kind of take you more in depth on how that works, because there's not a video that shows that, and I think this is really, really interesting, because there are some modern ways of achieving this, but this is a more simple way. It's all there for you. You don't have to really wire anything. It's just you plug it in and you're away. So I hope you enjoyed this review. As I said, I'm gonna have more reviews to come soon, and thank you all for watching. Lucky Motion Productions signing out.